Ma'am, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am.
And this vehicle, who does it belong to?
It's mine. Registered in my name.
You got registration on you?
Of course. It's in the glove box. I can show you once I'm done putting groceries away.
Mom,
it's
my
okay,
status,
baby.
we just
hold my
need to
hand.
verify your status, all right?
My status
Okay,
is I'm
so-
a...
On a Tuesday afternoon, ICE agents Victor Martinez and Robert Davis cornered a black mother outside a Southside grocery store barking, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" while her 8-year-old son and 6-year-old daughter stood beside her clutching shopping bags. They detained her for nearly an hour right there in the parking lot, insisting her Illinois driver's license could be fake as her children cried and begged to go home. What they didn't know was that Dr. Sarah Chen was born in the same hospital where she now saves children's lives, and their racially motivated stop, documented from every angle, would end with a $17.3 million verdict that destroyed both their careers. Before we go any further, comment where in the world you are watching from and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. The body cam footage starts at 3:47 p.m. Agent Victor Martinez's camera shows a black woman at the back of a silver Honda SUV loading grocery bags into the trunk. 2 kids stand next to her, a boy holding a bag of chips, a girl with a juice box. Martinez and his partner, Robert Davis, approach from opposite sides. "Are you a U.S. citizen?" Martinez says. No greeting, no explanation. The woman stops mid-motion, a gallon of milk in her hand. "I'm sorry, what?" "I need to see identification proving you're a U.S. citizen." Davis moves closer to the car door. "Why are you stopping me?" She sets the milk down in the trunk. "We're conducting immigration enforcement. I need to see your papers." The little girl starts crying. The boy pulls her closer. The woman's voice stays calm, but her hands are shaking on camera. "What reasonable suspicion do you have for stopping me?" Martinez doesn't answer the question. "Ma'am, if you don't cooperate, we can detain you for obstruction." The daughter is sobbing now. "Mommy, I want to go home." A woman 4 cars down pulls out her phone, starts recording. Martinez notices. "Ma'am, step back." The woman doesn't move. She keeps recording. The mother pulls out her own phone, points it at both agents. "I'm recording this. I want to know why I'm being detained." "You're not being detained," Davis says, "but if you refuse to provide ID, that changes." She reaches into the front seat, pulls out her wallet, hands Martinez her driver's license. He examines it like he's never seen an Illinois license before, holds it up to the light, flips it over. Then he radios dispatch. "I need verification on an Illinois DL." "You think my license is fake?" Her voice cracks slightly. Martinez ignores her. The wait begins. The body cam timestamp shows 3:51 p.m. More people stop to watch. Phones come out. 5 people recording now. 7. The boy whispers to his mother, "Mom, what's happening?" She tells him it's okay, they just have questions, but the daughter won't stop crying. 4:02 p.m., 11 minutes in. A black woman approaches the agents. "That's Dr. Chen. She delivered my grandbaby at Northwestern. What are you doing?" "Step back or you'll be charged with obstruction," Martinez says. The woman doesn't step back. "She's a doctor, born right here in Chicago. Y'all harassing her for what?" Davis gets on his radio. "We might need backup. Crowd's getting aggressive." The crowd isn't aggressive. They're just watching, recording, witnessing. 4:15 p.m., 28 minutes. The ice cream in the grocery bags is melting. The daughter is sitting on the curb now, head in her hands, shoulders shaking. The son stands next to his mother like a guard, jaw clenched, trying not to cry. Dr. Chen's phone rings. She answers on speaker. "Sarah, where are you? Party's starting." "I'm being detained by ICE in the Jewel parking lot on 87th. "What? Why?" "They won't tell me. They're verifying my driver's license." The voice on the phone gets louder. "Your driver's license? You were born at Northwestern." Martinez hears this, doesn't react, just waits for dispatch. 4:33 p.m., 46 minutes. A news van pulls into the parking lot. Channel 7. Someone called the media. Martinez and Davis exchange looks. Finally, dispatch comes through on the radio. ID verified, Sarah Chen, date of birth January 1986, born Chicago, Illinois, no wants, no warrants, she's clear. Martinez hands the license back, no apology. You're free to go. That's it. No explanation, no acknowledgement of the 46 minutes, the crying children, the public humiliation. Davis adds, next time, cooperate from the start. Dr. Chen stares at him. Her daughter is still sobbing. Her son looks like he's seen his mother treated like a criminal. The birthday cake in the trunk is ruined from the heat. She loads her kids into the car. People hand her business cards through the window. Lawyers, activists. One card belongs to Marcus Williams, a civil rights attorney who specializes in federal misconduct. The body cam shows her driving away at 4:38 p.m., 51 minutes after it started. What the body cam doesn't show was what happened next. The 7 cell phone videos uploading to Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. The hashtag that would trend by midnight, the lawsuit that would be filed within a week, and the $17.3 million verdict that destroyed both their careers and forced ICE to change its policies nationwide. But Martinez and Davis didn't know that yet. They just got back in their vehicle and drove to the next location, looking for the next person to stop. The videos hit social media before Dr. Chen even made it home. By 9 p.m. that night, the parking lot footage had 2 million views. By morning, 15 million. The comment sections exploded. Thousands of people sharing their own stories of being stopped, questioned, humiliated for existing while black or brown. Dr. Chen didn't sleep that night. Her daughter climbed into bed with her at 2 a.m., shaking from a nightmare about the men taking mommy. Her son refused to let her out of his sight, following her from room to room. At breakfast, he asked the question that broke her. "Mom, can they come to our house and take you?" She called Marcus Williams that morning. The civil rights attorney watched all 7 angles of the footage during their first meeting. Security cameras from the store, 5 different cell phones, Martinez's own body cam. Williams paused the video on her daughter's face, tears streaming, mouth open mid-scream. "This is one of the clearest Fourth Amendment violations I've ever seen," he said, "and it's documented from every angle possible." The lawsuit was filed 6 days later in federal court. Racial profiling, unlawful detention without reasonable suspicion, violation of constitutional rights, intentional infliction of emotional distress on her and her children. The filing made national news. ICE's response came within 48 hours. Our agents acted appropriately within their authority to conduct immigration enforcement operations. Then discovery started. Williams subpoenaed 6 months of records for agents Martinez and Davis. What came back made the case explode. In 6 months, Martinez and Davis had conducted 47 stops in that district. 43 were black or Latino. All 47 were U.S. citizens. Not a single stop resulted in an immigration violation. Not one arrest, not one deportation. Just 47 American citizens detained, humiliated, and released. The pattern was undeniable, but the text messages were worse. On their agency-issued phones, Martinez and Davis had exchanged messages about their stops, jokes about catching illegals at the grocery store, comments about those people who don't belong in nice neighborhoods. Screenshots of these texts leaked to the media within days. The public backlash was immediate and brutal. Then the security footage from the store revealed something even more damaging. The camera showed Martinez and Davis arriving at 3:32 p.m., 15 minutes before Dr. Chen walked out. They parked, they waited, they watched her go into the store, they watched her come out, they selected her specifically. This wasn't random enforcement, this was hunting. The psychological evaluations came next. Dr. Sarah Chen, a child psychologist, examined both kids. Her report was devastating. Both children showed acute stress symptoms. The daughter had developed severe anxiety around anyone in uniform, police, security guards, even the crossing guard at school. She had nightmares 3 times a week. The son had become hypervigilant, constantly scanning for threats, positioning himself between his mother and strangers. In his evaluation, he told Dr. Sarah, "I thought they were going to shoot my mom. That's what happens on the news." Dr. Chen's own evaluation wasn't better. PTSD symptoms. She couldn't shop at that Jewel anymore, couldn't even drive past it without her heart racing. She'd pull into parking lots now and scan for agents before getting out. The hospital where she'd worked for 12 years felt different. She'd wonder if patients looked at her differently after seeing the videos. The depositions began 3 months after filing. Agent Martinez, under oath, tried to explain reasonable suspicion. The exchange was brutal. What specific factors led you to suspect Dr. Chen of immigration violations? Her appearance and the area. What about her appearance? Just the totality of circumstances. Can you articulate what those circumstances were? Long pause on the deposition transcript. She fit a profile. What profile? His attorney objected, but the damage was done. Agent Davis was worse. He admitted they had no tip, no investigation, no intelligence, just training and experience. When pressed on what training teaches you to stop a woman loading groceries, he had no answer. ICE's lawyers knew they were losing. 2 months before trial, they offered $2.5 million and a confidentiality agreement. Dr. Chen rejected it immediately. "I don't want silence, I want accountability. This goes to trial. Every single word gets heard." The trial date was set, the evidence was overwhelming, and Martinez and Davis had no idea what was coming. The trial opened on a Monday morning in federal court. Judge Patricia Morrison presiding. The jury was seated. 8 women, 4 men, mixed ages and backgrounds. The courtroom was packed. Overflow rooms were set up for media. Outside, protesters held signs demanding ICE accountability. Marcus Williams didn't waste time with a long opening statement. He walked to the screen at the front of the courtroom and played the body cam footage. No commentary, just 90 seconds of Dr. Chen being stopped, her children crying, Agent Martinez treating her driver's license like a forgery. When the daughter's scream echoed through the courtroom, 2 jurors visibly flinched. Williams turned to the jury. That's the evidence. A doctor, an American citizen, terrorized in front of her children for loading groceries. Now let's talk about why. ICE's attorney argued the agents were conducting lawful immigration enforcement and had every right to ask questions. He claimed Dr. Chen escalated the situation by not immediately complying. The jury looked skeptical. Day 2, Dr. Chen took the stand. Williams walked her through that afternoon step by step. The groceries, her daughter's hunger, running late for a birthday party, then the stop. What did you think when Agent Martinez asked if you were a U.S. citizen? "I thought there must be some mistake. I'm a surgeon. I was born 3 miles from that parking lot. I've lived in Chicago my entire life." "What did your children see that day?" Her voice cracked. "They saw their mother treated like a criminal. They saw federal agents refuse to believe I belonged in my own country. My daughter asked me that night if brown skin means you're bad." Cross-examination tried to paint her as uncooperative. "You didn't immediately show ID, correct? I asked why I was being stopped. That's my constitutional right. But you refused. I asked a question. They never gave me a legal answer." The cross-examination went nowhere. Day 4, Agent Martinez testified. Under oath, he claimed reasonable suspicion based on the totality of circumstances. Williams destroyed him. What circumstances? The area has immigration activity. What activity? You admitted in your deposition that all 47 people you stopped in 6 months were U.S. citizens. Where's the immigration activity? Martinez stumbled. We use our training and judgment. Your judgment told you a woman loading groceries with 2 children was illegally in the country? We have to verify. Verify what? She had an Illinois driver's license. What made you think it was fake? Long pause. We're trained to check documents carefully. Williams pulled up the text messages on the screen, the jokes, the comments about those people, the messages planning where to conduct stops based on demographics, not intelligence. Is this your training, Agent Martinez? Martinez's attorney objected. Judge Morrison overruled. The texts stayed on the screen. The jury stared at them. Agent Davis testified next. He was worse. Under cross-examination, he admitted they had no specific information about Dr. Chen, no tip, no investigation, nothing. So why did you stop her? She matched a profile of someone who might what? Might not have documentation. Based on what? He couldn't answer. The expert witnesses came next. Dr. James Richardson, a former ICE supervisor turned whistleblower, reviewed the entire case. His testimony was damning. This stop violated every protocol we have. You need reasonable, articulable suspicion. Agent Martinez and Agent Davis had none. This was racial profiling, clear and simple. A constitutional law professor from University of Chicago testified about Fourth Amendment violations. The Supreme Court has been explicit. You cannot detain someone without reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. Being a black woman in a parking lot is not criminal activity. Day 8, the security footage played. The timestamp showing Martinez and Davis arriving early, waiting, watching, selecting Dr. Chen specifically. The jury watched in silence. The child psychologist testified about the trauma, showed drawings the daughter made in therapy, stick figures of men in uniforms, a woman crying, children with tears, explained the son's hypervigilance, his protective behaviors, his fear that his mother would be taken. Closing arguments came on day 9. Williams stood before the jury and pointed at the screen showing Dr. Chen's daughter mid-scream. They want you to believe this was proper law enforcement, but you've seen the evidence, the texts, the pattern, the lack of any reasonable suspicion. This wasn't law enforcement. It was racism with a badge. ICE's attorney argued good faith. The jury didn't buy it. Deliberation took 5 hours. The verdict came back guilty on every count. The jury returned for the damages phase. They had already found Martinez and Davis guilty of constitutional violations, racial profiling, and inflicting emotional distress. Now they had to decide what that violation was worth. The numbers came back fast. $5.3 million in compensatory damages for Dr. Chen's suffering, her children's trauma, her damaged reputation, and ongoing psychological treatment. Then the punitive damages, $12 million to punish the misconduct and send a message that this could never happen again. Total $17.3 million. When the verdict was read, Dr. Chen didn't celebrate. She closed her eyes and exhaled. Her hands were shaking. In the gallery, her sister sobbed. Her children weren't in the courtroom. They were at home with family, but she thought about them, about her son's question, "Can they take you away?" About her daughter's nightmare. This was for them. Outside the courthouse, cameras and microphones surrounded her. She stepped to the podium with Marcus Williams beside her. "This was never about money," she said, voice steady. "You can't put a price on watching your children learn they're not safe in their own country. But today, 12 jurors said what happened to me was wrong. It was unconstitutional, and there are consequences." A reporter asked if she felt vindicated. She paused. "I feel exhausted, but I feel hope that my children will see fighting injustice matters, that standing up means something." The fallout was immediate. Within 2 hours, ICE issued a statement announcing Agent Victor Martinez and Agent Robert Davis were terminated effective immediately. The statement claimed they acted outside agency protocols. No mention that those protocols had allowed 47 unconstitutional stops before someone finally fought back. Congress responded next. 3 representatives called for hearings on ICE's domestic enforcement practices. Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth demanded a full investigation into racial profiling in the Chicago district. Civil rights organizations filed complaints in 4 other cities where similar patterns emerged. ICE was forced to implement new policies. All stops now required documented reasonable suspicion. Body cameras became mandatory. A civilian review board was created to investigate complaints. Training programs were overhauled. Dr. Chen's case became the catalyst for nationwide reform. The $17.3 million was paid from federal funds. Dr. Chen put $5 million in trust for her children's future and continued therapy. She donated $2 million to the ACLU and other civil rights organizations fighting similar cases. The rest went to financial security and ensuring she could keep fighting. Her children's recovery took time. A year after the verdict, her daughter still had occasional nightmares but was improving. Her son had turned his trauma into advocacy. He did a presentation on constitutional rights for his 4th grade class that went viral online. He ended it by saying, "My mom taught me that when something's wrong, you fight back." Dr. Chen returned to Northwestern Memorial Hospital, still performing surgeries, still saving children's lives, but now parents recognized her for something else. Black and brown families would thank her in the hallways, not just for treating their kids, but for fighting, for refusing to be silent. Her case became legal precedent. Law schools taught it in constitutional law classes. Civil rights attorneys cited it in their own cases. 2 similar lawsuits in Texas and California used her victory as the foundation for their arguments. The $17.3 million wasn't just her justice, it was a roadmap for others. 1 year after the stop, Dr. Chen was invited to speak at a civil rights conference. She brought her children. Her son spoke to the crowd. "What happened to my mom was wrong, but she showed me you don't stay quiet, you fight back." Her daughter, now 7, had drawn a picture that hung in their living room. A tall woman holding a gavel with 2 kids beside her. At the bottom, in crayon, "Mommy won." Dr. Chen shops at a different grocery store now, closer to home. Every time she loads groceries into her trunk, she thinks about that Tuesday afternoon. The heat, the crying, the humiliation, and the $17.3 million that said her dignity mattered. Agent Martinez and Agent Davis never worked in law enforcement again. Their careers ended in that parking lot, the moment they chose to see a threat instead of a doctor, a criminal instead of a citizen, an illegal immigrant instead of a woman born 3 miles away. If this story moved you, drop a comment below and hit that subscribe button. Tomorrow's story will shock you even more. You don't want to miss it.